Look at you.
Right. You shouldn't have made me laugh before we started. All right,
Oh
hey
man.
y'all, hey guys. Welcome back to We Think Differently. Is That a Problem? The podcast where we say things that most people don't want to say out loud. Today we are going to be talking about comedians, celebrities, corporations, and we're going to talk about them being accused of taking jokes way too far. The reason why we came up with this, I don't know if everybody watched the Kevin Hart roast, which was I thought was hilarious, but we'll get into it. So we're just going to say the question is, can anything be joked about, or are some things off topic? What you think, bro?
First of all, see, and that's actually kind of wild because it depends on I guess I wouldn't say the environment. Yeah, I guess I would say the environment or the occasion or something like that. It's kind of like this, right? If I'm out and about and I'm walking down the street, somebody just walk up on me and just start joking and stuff, right? I mean, that's kind of like that's out of pocket. But if I'm at a comedy show or I'm
Yeah,
listening to a comedian,
I
um,
agree.
then I think it comes down to preference. But are things out of pocket at a comedy show or an event? I don't think so. I really don't.
I agree. I have to agree with you on that. I mean, if you paid your ticket to go see that person, then you knew what that person was about. Know what I
Absolutely.
mean? You know
Absolutely.
who this person is. So I agree with that. I think I think, just to talk about some of the jokes that have been well, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to talk about the jokes that have been I'm not going to repeat them. But, a lot of people had some issues with what was his name? Tony Hinchcliffe, his joke. He said a joke on the Kevin Roast show.
Oh, about George
Floyd, yes.
Floyd. Yeah, 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 yeah,
People
yeah.
think took it too far. I think it was Tony Hinchcliffe. Wasn't it him that said it? I
Yeah,
believe it
yeah,
was him.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he's been known to be, his and this is kind of funny to me in all seriousness. Like the George Floyd joke. There's a I guess was I offended? No, I was not offended. It was a
Mhm.
joke.
Right, right,
Was I thinking it was poor taste of a joke? Yes.
right. Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Um, do I think he should have did it then? I mean, that's like a backseat driver. You know what I mean? I mean that's his career. That's his joke. I mean, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So I really can't be judgmental on that. But what I was about to say is this: is that a lot of people, call him a racist and his propaganda and blah blah blah. I don't really see that. I see he's
They
like
they don't say he's a racist. I don't think they say he's a racist per se. They say he say racist jokes. I don't know. Is that a difference? Does that make a difference? I don't
some
know.
people can. I don't know. Some people can look at it and say, yeah. Some
Yeah.
people, um, I I I don't agree that he's a racist. I think from his standpoint, he has people on there that may be racist,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because some of those jokes, just because of their history or what you read about them or something like, you kind of figure, yeah, there's an issue there or whatever. But it brings it to the forefront. I think is good, which is part of humor.
Right.
Some of the funniest jokes out there that our grandparents heard or whatnot heard it from, of course, their elders, but also, black and white jokes. We've been hearing those jokes ever since
Mhm.
ever since I was a kid. Some of those jokes, you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So I don't know. I mean, but it's kind of funny, like where he jokes about race and that sort of thing, whereas everybody jokes about his sexuality, like hard.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, you know, uh,
So the big debate is whether comedy should have limits or whether nothing is off limits if it's funny.
comedy. All right. So
Comedy.
at
Yeah.
a comedy show, no, I mean, if they can find a way to make something funny, um, I mean, that's the whole point of comedy, making tragedy into something that's, laughable.
Right.
I mean, think about it. I mean, we've talked about mental illness, sexuality,
Right.
religion, black,
Right.
white. I mean,
Suicide and death jokes.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
way they roast what's her name that was on the roast?
But Underwood,
Uh
is her name
she
Underwood?
had the tip of my tongue. But about her husband,
Oh, the suicide.
I was like, wow. I was like, wow. That was kind of
I mean, some of those
that
jokes
was
were
deep.
funny. Some of those jokes were funny, man.
That was deep though.
Some of those,
I don't
I
know.
don't
Is
think
that
anything.
too
I
far?
really don't.
Is that too far though? Is that too far?
Well, if it happened last week, yeah, but it happened
Oh,
over a
so the
decade.
timing.
Yeah, I mean, it happened over a decade plus ago, I think. So, I'm just going off of memory, so you got to excuse me. But yeah, I mean, shoot, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was. I was like, damn, I didn't even know he committed suicide. I was
I
like,
didn't
oh,
either.
I
I
had to
didn't
look it
either.
up. I was like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, so I thought it was hilarious. I tell you this, man, there's some comedians out there that right now are kicking butt. I had a favorite comedian. We'll talk about that later in the show.
Mhm.
But, I think sometimes the the hard the more hard hitting the joke is,
Uh,
um, sometimes it can make a person think. So I don't see anything wrong with it, to be honest.
right. Right.
You know. But that's different when you're not the butt of the joke. You understand what
I
I'm saying?
listen,
I mean, think about it.
I'm kind of on the fence about it because, you know, I can't really say was that too far talking about, I want to say that was too far. Let me put it that way. Talking about her husband committed suicide. I
Right.
want to say that. I heard a joke on I don't know if it was TikTok, it was one of them platforms. I heard a joke and the girl was saying, roasting her, and the other girl just came back and was like, well, that's why your mama dead. I'm like, wow, is that too far? Is that too far? So I'm on the fence about it because I'm like, that was a little too far for me,
I
you
mean,
know.
when you're joking, you're trying to, in all honesty, I mean, people say, oh, it's all in fun. No, I mean, sometimes jokes are there to hurt.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they there to punish. I mean, that was the dozens. Like, you was making jokes, so the harder hit and the more personal and the more hard hitting, I mean, it was, the better you were.
Mhm.
So, to have soft jokes, you know, quote unquote, I would call them dad jokes, right? Soft
Right.
jokes, dad jokes. But if we're talking and we're having an argument and we want to start messing with each other, we can get pretty nasty.
Yeah, true,
You know what I mean?
true.
But
But yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, but there's some
you
things
say-
like, but
would
there's
you
some
say
things
it to somebody else? Would you,
I wouldn't say
if you
that
hit
to you. Like I wouldn't,
exactly,
yeah, I wouldn't say
exactly.
certain things. I wouldn't joke about certain
So
things.
family circles, those kind of jokes would be off limits. It
Yeah, I
would
mean,
be too far.
because you don't want to hurt a person feelings in the fam. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's easy to do because you know a lot about them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I mean, you can come pretty harsh on, on family. So,
Mhm.
that's actually, I tell you that's actually a very good comparison, Shelley, to be honest with you.
Right.
Um, because of the roast, a lot of personal stuff about people. You can really hit hard, and some of those jokes are personal,
Right.
even though they're written by other people in most cases, in some of those cases, right? There's
Mhm.
writers, and then these people read them. So, I mean, it's a business, right? So,
Right.
if you're doing it as a business, I think that maybe that might be the distinction. If you're
Mhm.
doing it somewhat as a business,
That's
is
your job to do.
is anything
So,
off limits per se? I don't know.
so let me ask you this. A lot of those big, big celebrities, I mean, it could be somebody that's just a Joe Mo that just got a corporate job that makes a bad joke. Do you think it's fair that, they lose their jobs or sponsors stop, fire them, don't want to, want them on their team no more? Do you think that's a fair thing to do over
Well,
a joke?
I think that's too. Well, first of all, are you talking about an employee, or are you talking about like a comedian?
I'm talking about celebrities,
Okay,
celebrities,
okay.
even the Joe Mo in the um corporate world.
See, do I think it's fair?
I don't
Uh,
think
I
I
don't know. I mean, and why I say I don't know, all right? Because I mean, you can
it
throw
would
a.
have to be a limit to me. It would be have to be a scale. Like if he
But
said
see, this is my point.
your
The
mom
scale.
or your dad wear a dress. No. Or if it went up to here, oh, your mom is dead, then yeah, that's a little, too
The
much.
scale is subjective. That's my point, right?
Uh,
Everybody's has a different scale. So let's just say you're working for a corporation, right?
right,
Depending on the board, depending on the I don't know, VP or senior VP of marketing,
right.
that person, depending on who their tolerance is, you may be able to go here, you may be able to go here, so it's too
Mhm.
subjective, right? There's really no objective way. I think if you hire a comedian, right, to make jokes, I think that you should let them have free reign and let the public judge. Does that make sense?
You said let the public judge it.
Yeah. I mean,
I
see,
mean,
the
that's
thing
pretty much
is,
what's going on now, because
no,
so
the
much camera.
corporations are judging, right? The corporation hear a smite in left corner and then they judge and then they cancel. All right. They don't let the sale or the you know, the overall comments judge for itself, meaning that if that comedian made a bad joke, society at a certain point will either, stop watching them, slow it down, or whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you got to let art be art to an extent. I mean, you got naked statues all around. Why can't you have a comedian talk about small people and stuff?
Mm, um, for me, like I said, it would be levels for me. I don't know. Should people actually be fired from their jobs because of a bad joke? Let's call it a bad joke.
See,
Is
and
that a
that's it.
bad joke?
I tell you this: people can get fired at their job for wearing the wrong outfit.
True.
Okay.
True.
What we're talking about are comedians. Their job is to be funny,
Right.
right?
I get it. Yeah.
Right. Their
But
job is
a
to make,
joke can be a bad joke. It could be a
right.
bad
I mean, but you don't get fired off a bad joke. You know what I mean? I don't think you should get fired off of a bad joke, right? I think
joke.
just like anything, you have from a standpoint, I don't want to put them on steps, you know what I mean? But like, you're on
Right.
step one, this is a verbal. You're on step two, we're going to document step three. We got to let you go. I mean,
Right.
I don't think that's fair for a comedian
Right.
right? Because it's kind of like, you know, you're telling the dog, you know, I know you wag your tail left and right, but I only want you to wag it left today. I mean, it's against their nature. I know, right? You like that? Oh, that's called an
Listen,
analogy, baby. That's like
listen,
that's
listen.
like high level.
All right. Listen, listen. I'm gonna tell you about it's a show, and I'm moving on into these TV shows. It's a show that I believe still comes on today.
Okay.
The show is called South Park. I watched this show years ago, one
Yeah.
time, because everybody was talking about it.
Mhm.
This show was funny, the jokes they were talking about. Let me tell you about this episode. In this episode, all the boys, one by one, started, and please don't get offended by this, but they were having bleeding out of their butts. And then one by one, it was going from one to one to one.
Yeah, you were saying they
And
were having
everybody
their
thought they
menstrual
was
cycle.
getting their periods. They thought they was getting their periods. So every time one started the bleeding, they'd be like, I got my period too. And they
Yeah.
would go one on one. I thought that was so disgusting. And I'm
Hmm.
like, what is going on here? At the end of the show, after all the boys had their periods, as they called it,
Okay.
um, they said all of them had an intestinal infection or something. They had, that's why they were bleeding
Yeah.
out their butts. I'm like, what? Why is this funny? I'm like, oh my gosh, I never watched the show again because of that episode. I thought that was unbelievable.
All right. Well,
That is a show I could say goes way too far.
I don't know,
It's
man.
dark humor.
I thought I've seen South Park.
Mm,
Right. I'm not like an advocate watcher of it, right?
uh,
But I've seen enough episodes to um, appreciate the humor. All right, that's funny to me.
that's funny to you.
It's
That's
funny to
that to
me.
me. That's that dark humor. That weird humor. Like how they make this an episode and people loved it and thought it was hilarious. I'm like, no, that's a little too far for me.
And that's what I mean by
And
everybody
why
has.
do the little boy die every episode? What is that about?
That's
It comes,
hilarious, Kenny.
yes,
It's
it
hilarious,
comes
man.
back.
Because you always try to figure out which way he's going to go this time, right? I mean,
Like
listen. I
what?
mean, Kenny to me is like the in the Peanuts, the dude with the dust around
Uh,
him. Kenny's Pigpen to me, right?
why though?
Kenny's
Dark
mush mouth.
humor to me.
Kenny's
That's
mush
dark.
mouth on Fat Albert. You know what I mean? Like, there's always one person on there. But I say this: South Park is one of those things that actually puts there's some intelligent humor and there's stupid humor. They actually have all levels of humor on there,
Mm.
right? Some of the stuff can be offending to people, but
Yes.
from a standpoint, I don't know. I mean, I try to look beyond it in a
Mm.
sense, and look at the humor part of it, and try to actually find in the message because it's kind of funny. I mean, some jokes there's no message, right? But in a lot of other jokes, there are a message that people are trying to speak the truth through humor. All right. They've done
Yeah.
a lot of different things on people's personalities and things
Mm.
of accusations and stuff like that. They just put it satire, as we were talking earlier,
Mm.
the subject matter. But I think I don't know. I mean, you had The Simpsons, Family Guy.
Yeah.
You know,
Which one is the one everybody always says they told the future? Was it The Simpsons or Family Guy? It's always
I
something.
mean, The Simpsons. I don't know. I mean, but I mean, Futurama tells about the future. I mean, I believe that.
No, they always go back to never mind. We'll get back to that. Never mind.
Uh,
Yes, but I guess I can say that I can see jokes going too far for me. Will I stop watching that person if, a comedian? Probably not.
you stop watching a show.
That show, I stopped watching. That was way too, that humor was too dark for me. I couldn't get into that humor. It was
Okay.
too dark for me.
Have you ever watched The Simpsons?
I watched them.
All
I,
right.
I I didn't enjoy The Simpsons. The Simpsons wasn't a good show for me.
All right. All right. So
Uh,
go ahead. Sorry. Just
Family
trying to get a
Guy.
level. Just trying to get a level of that humor.
Yeah, I'm a sitcom humor girl. I love sitcoms. Those
Hmm.
jokes are funny to me.
Like Laverne
And
and
some of
Shirley.
them, what?
Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, whatever, man.
The
Sitcom
odd,
humor.
the odd couple.
Some of them can go, no, can some of them go too far?
I don't know.
No. Saturday
No,
Night
I
Live.
mean sitcoms are a little bit different, man. They're more passe because they're really public. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I mean, they're not going to go too far, but some try to, some of these sitcoms that are on cable now.
Do, do you remember the movie Shallow Hal? Did you watch that?
I I think
Remember
was that
he kept seeing the girl as he in his eyes she looked like she was this petite young lady, pretty, when actuality she was a big heavy set lady.
I do remember it. For some reason I think it was what was his name that played it?
I can't remember his name. He was a funny actor. I can't remember his name.
First, I was just thinking of Jeff Black, not Jeff Black. No. Look it up real quick. Shallow Hal.
Let me see.
I tell you one of the funniest ones out there that used to make good movies, funny movies, right? Of course, you had Adam Sandler out there making his movies,
Right.
right? Some of those people would say went for it. I thought they were hilarious, but also you had Rob Schneider
Mm.
back in the day. He used to play some cool cool roles, man. I think he did one. Was it Deuce Bigelow, Mel Gigolo? I
That's
think
who
it
the
was.
guy was. That Shallow Hal?
Uh, what do you mean, the same guy?
Yeah, didn't he play Shallow Hal?
I don't know. I said you were
I
supposed to be
think that
looking it
was.
up. You said
Wait a
you was
minute, what?
looking at
What
it.
was his name? What was his name?
And then I think it's Rob Schneider, right? He did a couple good shows. I mean, he did one when he was in prison. That joint was funny. So I mean, and some of those jokes went too far, like prison and so, or people said that they did. But humor's humor, man. If you don't like it, don't turn it on.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? Some of your best comedians. I tell you this, in all honesty, like everybody talks about Eddie Murphy and stuff. Eddie Murphy, don't get me wrong, is a genius. Was it? I mean, still is.
Yes.
I mean, he's making his footprint,
Right.
definitely.
Right.
But his humor, like the wildest thing, his movies had more hard hitting stuff than
Yeah, it's the same guy. Yep.
okay.
Yep.
His movies had more hard hitting stuff
Mm.
than his specials. Like his specials were more like they weren't like Richard Pryor back in the day when he made the albums, right?
Right.
Richard Pryor albums were like you had to be a certain age.
To listen, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Eddie
Right.
Murphy,
Right.
I mean, I don't know about
Right.
if he made albums, but the shows like
But
the
was
lyrics.
his humor too far? Was his humor too far?
Who?
Oh, he said some stuff.
Who?
Richard Pryor.
Nah.
He
not at
said
all.
some stuff. Red
Oh
Fox.
yeah,
Yeah, they said some stuff.
yeah. Buddy Hackett, um, but man, Buddy Hackett, have been Red
But
Fox.
this may be proving the point because has the world become too sensitive? Because
Absolutely.
them guys back there, they were saying some stuff. They wasn't getting fired or canceled from stuff.
Nah,
Their careers just went higher.
like like back. You remember back in the day, you talk about somebody, you'd be like, "Yo, they got sugar in their tank," right?
Right, right.
That's how we are with humor. We got a lot of sugar in there. Because, you know what I mean? It becomes a little
Are you saying we sweet now?
we a little
We all
sweet.
sweet.
Yeah, we a little sweet on the humor, right?
Well,
We don't take it
I
black
mean,
no
that's a
more.
great point, though. You take them old time comedians back then, and they said some real stuff that, you had to be a certain age to listen to. When we got older and we finally did hear those sets, um, we were like, wow, too. But they didn't get they didn't get canceled off of shows. They didn't get, you know, sponsors dropped them. They got more shows and sitcoms
But
and
this is kind of funny to me though, right? You can talk about, and this is where I don't get where people, you know, it's so subjective out there. You
mm,
can talk about a person's dead husband, right?
mm,
You can talk about every and anything, right? But when race comes up, you can talk about it,
right.
right? But you went too far because you mentioned a traumatic and somewhat recent occurrence. I think that really is the argument. You can't say, because people talk about slavery, shoot,
Right.
and you know what I mean, and hangings and stuff and all this other stuff. There was a never mind, but
What?
no, 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 there was a joke years ago. I can't remember who said it. There was
Mm,
a guy, I think in Texas or New Orleans, black guy that was chained and they dragged him to death, right?
mm,
Some comedian made up a joke about that. And, I think, for a while they were out of the commission for a while because it was like a real tragic scenario. There was
right.
not enough time to go by to where
Right.
people didn't consider it funny. And I think that that's unfair. It's, it's, I don't know if it's unfair per se because, a person has to be somewhat compassionate.
Mm.
But is it unfair to blame a person trying to make humor about something just because
Oh,
it's or
yeah.
should be punished because it's too recent? I don't understand that.
Right.
I mean, time heals all wounds. I get that part.
Yeah, but I think the whole core debate on it is, you know, it's half and half. I really think it's split down the middle. Some people think comedy should have limits, and some people think those jokes normalize, life, whatever they're going through at the time, or I think it's half and half. I think for me, I said I think some jokes could go too far, so I probably would say comedy should have some limits. But
I
I
mean,
also
yeah, yeah.
said I would continue to still watch that, person. I'm not going to, break them down. But I think because now, um, social media is so bigger because there's so many clips. Once that clip hit, that clip is out there. It's out there. There you go. This is what happened. This is what he said. So the backlash becomes global. You know what I mean? It
The
becomes
backlash
global.
for
So
the back.
somebody has to make a move. That's what I think happens. You know.
Mhm. Well, I mean, I think there's a difference in a joke being for entertainment
Mm,
compared to a joke being weaponized.
mm. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, yeah.
the dozens when you would make fun of each other, it was to have fun, but it was also a weapon. It was kind of like, it was kind of like battling, rap battling and whatnot. You want to crush the other person. You want to make them cry. You want to make them go home and say they picked on me. That was the whole goal.
Yeah.
Entertainment, when you're a comedian, you're just going out there just trying to make fun of a scenario or
Mm.
a situation. It
Do
could
you
be
think,
bad.
do you think
It could be
comedians think that comedy is supposed to make you uncomfortable? You know what I mean?
No, some comedians say that only the best comedians make you go, not uncomfortable, but go, hmm.
Right,
They say some of the best
right,
comedians make you,
right.
you know what I mean? The ones that are offensive say the best comedians are the ones that pushes the envelope. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's like
yeah,
everybody got their way
yeah,
of
yeah,
trying to
yeah, yeah.
explain their reasoning and
I'm
things.
ask you something. And this is where I'd say no to. Should should old jokes that they come back, oh, they said this years ago, because what happened to Kevin Hart and somebody else where who was it? It was somebody else, but something that was posted years ago, should that ruin their career at, years later? Should they be getting, fired from such a things? Oh, was
Oh, I
Shane
think you're
Gillis.
talking about that
Yeah,
thing where Kevin Hart said something about the gay community. He said he built a
right. And
house
he
over his
couldn't do
head
the
or something.
Oscars or something. Yeah. They took
Um,
it back.
no, no. I mean, in all honesty, if anybody out
Yeah,
there,
I think that's so. I agree with you. I don't think they should lose their careers or get
no,
canceled
I
from
mean,
shows. That what happened with Shane Gillis. He said something. They pulled up something he said way back then. This is Saturday Night Live, who pushed the envelope, I think, all the time, and they fired him because of a post that was years ago. They
and
fired him
Shane
from
Gillis
Saturday
is,
Night
I mean,
Live.
seriously, his presentation, if you've ever watched any of his shows,
I never watched him.
you have, if you get a chance, watch him because, he's funny. And the way he's telling the story, there's sense to it, but
Mm,
he's making you go, right? Because he's saying certain things that are just the way he puts it is funny. Like he made fun of the Iraq War,
right. Wow. Mm,
but you have to listen to the skit.
right.
Like the skit is hilarious,
I have to
hilarious.
check him out. I never
Right?
really watched him. To be honest, I didn't even know who he was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I got induced or introduced to his type of humor. I think I saw him on a podcast, and I just like the way his presentation. And he's also on a show. I haven't watched it yet, but I think he's actually pretty funny. I tell you this, man. There was one, not once, but everybody can list their favorite comedians and all this jazz. But do I think a comedian should get fired over something they said years ago? No. First of all,
Yeah,
period.
I agree with that. I
Period.
I
All
agree.
right. If we can choose a president who said some offensive things months before or weeks before he even got voted in the office, I think we can forgive a comedian who made uh, a somewhat what people consider inappropriate joke or comment
Mhm.
5, 6, 7 years in the past. You see what I'm saying? We're so hypocritical, right?
Yeah,
Uh, that I think that overall is the part that pisses me off about anything out there,
right,
right? We can get mad about a comedian and want to cancel them, but
right,
people that we actually vote in the office, not just the president. I'm not just talking about him. I'm talking about
right,
people that we see in council meetings,
right,
judges, and stuff like that. Just say things out of pocket, out of pocket.
right. Let me ask you quick little test here. You either gonna say too far or now I'm just gonna throw out some kind of some of these comedians make humor about, um, but I want to see if you think they could go too far on it. So school shooting jokes.
That's funny the way you said it.
This is not funny.
No, no.
Can a comedian go too far on those?
um, I'm laughing because there probably are some good jokes in that, but I think after all that stuff I said in the beginning, right? No, no, no. Comedians can't go too far, free speech and all this, right? You hit me with that one. I have to stay true. Do I think they can go too far? I think, well, first of all, I think anything can go too far. But actually, I'm sorry, let me correct that. No, I do not. I can say it could be in bad taste, but I don't think a comedian can go too far. I think it can be in bad taste and not be funny.
What about 9/11 humor?
There are a lot of jokes about 9/11.
Yes, there's quite a few jokes.
You know what?
Some
But
are controversial.
I tell you this, 9/11 jokes were a lot more acceptable right after
Uh-huh. But there
than
you go. That was to, people found it comforting because
right.
that was
But
a big thing.
yeah,
That was,
yeah, but
the world
9/11
was,
jokes happened.
well, the United States was shocked that it happened to us, that that they slipped through. That was a big thing. Everybody was like, wow, this did not just happen to us.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
many lives. So I guess after that, we could find humor and comfort in it,
Pretty
you
quickly, man.
know? Yeah.
I
But
mean, they
now
were. I mean, even jokes. Yeah, they were
years
even joking.
later,
Hmm.
people think it could be bad taste, bad humor, bad joke, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like again, we're going back to the sugar in the tank.
Right.
Getting a little sweet, little. Putting too much flour in the dough. It's kind of
Yeah.
soft.
So there was and this is another thing, but I'm gonna tell you
Oh,
why I'm asking this disaster jokes, because it was a comedian that talked about when that tsunami hit over there. I forget what year it was, and it was so controversial what he said. He joked about it, and a lot of people thought it went too far. Um, who was the comedian? But can disaster jokes go too far? You know,
nah,
you
I don't think so.
don't think so?
No.
I'm trying to find who that comedian was because he said it. He got he got a lot of backlash from it.
Nah.
Oh,
I mean,
Gilbert Gottfried. You know that comedian?
really?
Hmm. He got fired from Aflac because of the joke he said.
You
Yeah,
got
Aflac dropped him.
yeah,
He was
yeah.
talking about that tsunami in 2011. That was a big thing, but he joked about it. He got fired from Aflac. You know what?
I'm sorry. I'm
You
just
would laugh at these jokes.
no,
You
I'm just
laugh at
thinking it.
them.
I'm just picturing. I swear to you, I was picturing the duck at the desk firing him. I'm sorry.
What? Ah,
I was just
well, that's a
picturing.
funny joke. That's funny.
No,
And
I
that's
don't. I
fun.
don't think it's funny. It's just that's what I saw, and that's what was funny to me. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I'm on the fence, and the reason why I say I'm on the fence is because, can jokes go too far for me? Yes. But will I not watch that comedy again? No. I'm going to watch them again. I'm going to continue to watch them. But yes, it's a bad joke for me. That was a bad joke. Went too far. But I'm still gonna watch the comedian because he's a comedian. That's his job, you know.
Well, see, and that's the thing. I mean, certain things I think are in bad taste. All right, now I'll tell you the difference. All right, the joke about George Floyd, I don't think went too far. I think it was just bad taste. All right, but
Well,
this,
remember the cops that all had the T-shirts that were made after that man died, and they had those T-shirts made. All those cops that were there, that whole unit or whatever, and they had those T-shirts made, and it said something about breathe. I can't remember. I gotta look it up. Nobody found that funny.
but that wasn't.
Were
They
they
weren't.
fired?
No,
Were they fired? I don't
first
remember. I
of
want to
all,
look it up.
see, that's the difference. They weren't doing that to be fun.
Mm.
That wasn't a
I think
joke.
they were.
They weren't. They weren't trying
I
to.
find that to be that dark humor again.
No,
They were
it could
being
be dark humor, but remember, I said there's a difference between joking. First of all, they're not comedians. That's one.
right.
All right, they're public officials.
True.
All right,
True.
as,
Yeah, I
all
see
right.
the
So,
point you're getting to.
right. So, I mean, the characteristics or the distinction and what they're held accountable for are different, right? Plus, they were involved in the death of someone or within that group, right? They may not have done it or they may have known people in that precinct or whatever the case may be. That was more, remember I said there's certain jokes that can be weaponized, right?
Right.
That was a weaponization of a situation. That's harmful. That was meant to
Right.
hurt.
Right.
That was meant to
Right.
hurt,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
that's a different. Plus, they're not
Yeah.
comedians; they're police
Right.
officers.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Now the thing is that
But
now,
we're separating the comedians because this is their job. They get paid for it. We have to separate and make that point that even if the joke went too far and it may have been in bad taste, that is their job. That's what they do. They didn't weaponize that joke, as you said. The joke wasn't weaponized to harm anybody. It was created to make you laugh
mhm.
because that's their job. So yeah, I understand that part. So I guess people need to separate that part. That's what
Well,
that's their job.
it's kind of funny. Like we should always be, from a standpoint, comedians or jesters, right?
Mhm.
Gestures have always been separated in that s- scenario. And what I mean by that, from history, the fool, the person that came into court and made fun of things, did certain things that ordinary people could not do because if they
Right,
did, they would be considered
right,
foolish,
right,
right? Acting a fool. So that's, I mean, the comedians, their or not their genre, but their job is to entertain, right? Whatever that may be. Now, I did hear someone say, which made sense also. The Tony, what's his name again? You said Tony what?
Hinchcliffe.
His joke would have been decent in the South, right? South
Right,
Carolina, right?
right, right, right,
Right. I
right.
lived down this. I lived in North Carolina for a couple of years. South Carolina, that joke would have been
Mhm.
magic.
Right.
All right,
Yeah,
right. Certain parts of Texas,
yeah,
magic.
right, yeah,
All
yeah.
right. The
Mhm.
red state's magic. I mean,
Yeah.
that's money maker right there. I mean, that's a money maker right there.
Right, right.
Right.
Yeah.
People more so had a issue because that joke was given or produced or represented at a Kevin Hart production type situation.
Uh,
These people are low paid people making those decisions for high paid situations. And what I
mm,
mean by that is that this thing was produced or at least set up through Netflix,
uh, yep,
right?
right,
Netflix is catering to everybody,
right. Yeah.
all
And
right?
and that's a very controversial company right now. They
Right,
get,
but
yeah,
but
yeah,
people, right, but people go there to be able to participate, to
yeah,
speak their word, and to
right.
have openness. So, when it works for you, great. When it doesn't, you want to bitch about it. I have a problem with that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. You could say that. I mean, wait, I'm trying to find because it's funny that you brought up Netflix because I was reading some about them and I didn't know they was so had so much going on with them as far as
Listen, they were in controversy when they brought Dave Chappelle in,
yeah.
and that was years ago. You know what I mean? David Letterman, they were in issues with them. You know what I mean?
So
So
listen, so Netflix repeatedly faced criticism over comedy specials accused of targeting minorities, trauma victims, or LGBTQ groups. The platform became central to debates about free speech
mhm.
versus harm in entertainment. Free speech versus harm.
And this is my problem. Okay. This is where I have an issue. All right. You have Fox News or the Fox network
Mhm.
spewing hate every day. You have,
Speech.
some people can say on the left, you have MSNBC, on the right, you
Mhm.
have Fox, and all this, right? Spitting hate every day. Not in jokes, just straight up just saying
Right.
hateful stuff,
Right. Mhm.
right? Because it has
And they will argue you down about the free speech.
right. But
Yeah.
you have Netflix that criticizes certain groups,
Right.
or not even criticize, just let people be themselves and
Right.
produce, and they're paid on what they bring in, right?
Right. Mm.
So I'm sorry if you have a guy like, and I keep messing up. I keep wanting to call him Heathcliff.
Hinchcliffe.
I keep wanting to call him Heathcliff, man. But anyway, Hedgecliff,
Yeah.
did you say Hedgecliff?
Hinchcliffe.
Yeah. I mean, people like that. He must be bringing in money.
Oh yeah,
I think
apparently he
doesn't he have
is.
doesn't he have a Netflix show?
I'm sure he does. Yes, I'm pretty
I
sure
think
he
there's a
does.
I don't know what station his show is on, but he has a lot of other comedians on. I don't know
Uh,
if it's the Joe Rogan. I don't know.
right,
But he must be doing something right. And he's
right.
funny. I mean, his some of his stuff is funny, and he doesn't play like, I mean, because people jump on. I don't know if he's, in the gay community or not, but
Right,
I'm assuming he is because everybody jokes about it like
right.
not a big deal, and he takes it on the chin.
But
Pause.
just oh my gosh, exactly. Pause. I hate that thing. Like, when does it become normal again? Everything is a pause now.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
so
we
funny.
actually that could be towards the end, but yeah, I mean, I think the pause thing. When did men get criticized for just being able to talk? All
Or
right,
or eat a hot dog.
or yeah,
Yes.
I can't
You
even.
can't even eat a hot dog anymore.
Yeah, and
Or a banana.
ice cream cone. I gotta be looking around and whatnot, making sure. Back in the day, I only had to worry about watermelon and chicken.
Yeah.
Now I gotta worry about everything else.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yo, now you can't eat nothing. That is hilarious. You can't eat nothing. You can't say anything. You can't walk a different way because it's a pause moment. I'm like,
You
dang,
know?
everything is a pause now.
Yeah, done can't
And
work.
some of
Can't
them is
walk.
funny though. Some of them is hilarious.
Yeah,
You
I'm gonna
know.
tell you this. I don't know what show it is. It's on one of these podcasts where I think one dude, like, he just talks very open, right? And he just be talking. I don't know if he does this shit on purpose or not, but the people around him just be pausing him left and right. Pause, pause, pause,
Uh,
pause. To the point I think he quit the show, right? Because he couldn't say right because he was like, "Yo, man, I can't talk," right? But everything he was saying, in all honesty,
oh,
yeah, it could be
freaking
considered
no.
so many different ways. And it's like, listen, man, us as black men, right? We got to worry about so much
Mm,
now because of the undercover brother, and that's where it came from,
right, right.
right? These people that are out there being undercover and sneaky need to just come out and just be who you are, because y'all affecting us in a negative way. The straight well, heterosexual man,
Right.
right? The guy that just like women, y'all messing us up. I can't even talk. I can't even say, you know, I like whipped cream in my coffee. Pause. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, man, come on, man. Come on, y'all. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
Yeah.
right, right.
I can't even tell some dude, yo, man, you got something on your mouth. Damn. I'm trying to help you out, bruh. You look like a fool. But I gotta say pause.
Yes, pause. Yeah,
Right
that's
when you open up
hilarious.
my mouth.
I'm telling you, some of them are very funny to me, though. They are very funny to me. I'd be crying like, yeah, that was a pause moment.
But
But
I mean,
should
some of
it
the
be
stuff.
everything you say?
But see,
No.
the thing is, in all honesty, there's a bad thing and a good thing about it. All right. The
Right.
bad thing is you just can't talk. The good thing is people need to watch what they say. You understand what I'm saying? If this makes
Right,
people think twice,
right.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because some people, you start listening to them, you like, you should have thought about that first. So, maybe this is a good thing.
So man, listen, I'm gonna ask you one question, and then we're gonna end this episode today because this was hilarious. But and tell me if you can say it because this can be really funny.
We used to do the book humor, but
Uh,
now he's polished. He's done a couple of new Jones that I like, makes me
uh,
laugh. But Patrice O'Neill, yeah, I mean, Kevin Hart's always good for a laugh. I mean,
right,
his specials are funny.
right.
Um, Tony Roberts, but you don't see Tony Roberts anymore.
So I know he just was on that new Kevin Hart comedy show on. I don't know if it's Netflix or Peacock, one of them. He has a
But
new
he used to hit
comedy
hard
show,
back.
and Tony
He used
Roberts,
to
he
hit,
had Tony Roberts on there,
he used
and
to
he
hit hard
knocked it
too.
out the box. He
Yeah,
is
he used to hit hard.
hilarious. Yes.
There was a Q. I can't remember his name. He was a dark skinned comedian. He used to hit hard. Uh,
Mhm.
I mean, Chappelle's always good, but I don't think he's my favorite storyteller.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I like his skits.
Yeah, but
I
I
thought
mean,
about
yeah.
Cat Williams too. Um, I'm not a fan of Mike Epps. Not a fan of his stand-up.
You know what?
Don't really
Certain
like his
things, actually, the more I listen to Mike Epps,
I
sometimes,
love him as an actor. Not a fan of his.
one of his best, I thought one, and I only saw clips of it. One of his best Jones was that when he made fun of Ice T
Uh,
doing what was it, Law and Order.
uh.
When he made fun of Ice T doing Law and Order, you got to look it up, guys. Look it up. Funny, funny.
Yeah,
But you got to be familiar and whatnot.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's certain things out there that are, but Patrice, if you ever, always hard hitter. If you ever get a chance, look him up on YouTube, right?
Mhm.
Patrice, Patrice O'Neill. Kevin's always good for a good laugh. At least for the last what, seven,
Right.
10 years, maybe.
Yeah, he's been on the roll. He's
He's
been
been
on
on
the
fire.
roll. Yeah.
Um, Dion Cole, I just like his writing. It's clever. He's clever.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
his show is funny too.
Yeah.
But you know what? Aries Spears is funny.
Uh,
I wouldn't say he's one of my
okay.
favorites. You
He
know
has
what I mean?
good. I mean, his impressions is what gets him. His and what he does, impressions of people.
Oh,
Um,
what's the dude? Now,
what's his
what's the
name?
dude?
Pharaoh. What's his name?
No, 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 no.
Are you talking about the other
He's
guy that
another
do?
impressionist. He's another
Yeah,
impressionist.
yeah. The
What's the
black
what's the
guy,
dude?
tall, skinny guy.
What's the dude that where Aries Spears got punched on his show? What's
Huh?
the name of that? He got a podcast, 21 podcast, 21,
Mhm.
Street 21.
I think you have some really good comedians out here.
Yeah, you
Some
do.
really, really good comedians out here, and that's their job to make you laugh. I think that, should they ever lose certain roles or certain, or destroy their careers or anything for a bad joke or a joke that just was not in taste? No, I don't think that should happen.
Corey Holcomb.
Corey Holcomb?
You gotta watch Corey.
Yeah,
You
I've
talk
never
about
even heard of
dark
him.
humor, yo, my man is ruthless.
Yeah, I never
Ruthless.
heard of him.
But you gotta check him out. Real dude. Real dude.
Come on, bro, let's
Real
close
dude.
this out. I thought it was a good conversation. You ready to close it out?
Yeah, I guess you are.
Yeah.
I was having fun. I was having fun talking. I like jokes. I
Yeah.
like talking about comedians.
Yes. Yeah.
No, that's
No,
cool.
you just all you do. First of all, bro is a big comedian. Funny. I mean, and I don't care where we at, what we're doing, what's going on, or the situation or the scenario, he's gonna make you laugh in that time, in that moment. He's gonna make you laugh when you ain't supposed to laugh. Yes. I don't
Man,
care what it is. So I do have a very humorous brother, and he will make you laugh in the worst, worst kind of moment.
yeah, man, they the best time. They the
Yes,
best time.
yes. I'm not going to tell him, but he will
James
make you
Brown at the
laugh.
funeral, baby.
Yeah.
James Brown at the funeral, man.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
no, I mean the thing is, I think to tie it up, I don't think comedians should be held to the same as politicians. Um,
Right.
they're not.
Yeah.
We
That's a
judge
good point. I
comedians.
like that. Yeah.
We judge comedians worse than we judge politicians, which
Right.
I
Right.
don't get.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think the lesson is we need to get.
Same thing. Yeah, that's the same thing. Why
Yeah,
are we doing that?
I don't
You
know.
know? Yeah.
I don't know.
Good.
But we
Great,
need
great
to
point.
recalibrate people. We need to get right.
Mm-hmm.
Humor will bring us together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at the end of the day, you got to be open to it to get it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I thought it was a good conversation, man. I appreciate you bringing this up. This was a good topic.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I had a
enjoyed it.
great time.
All
Definitely
right.
had a great time. So are we ready to end this? Are we going out on this one?
Yeah, I mean, there's not really too much you can say
Yeah.
other than, you know,
And you know what? That's what I forgot to say. I love it when I'm watching a comedy show and I see a lot of them on TikTok. It's a white guy, young white guy on there. I love. He is hilarious. Quite a few comedians that's on TikTok that are
mhm.
really funny to me. I can't think of their names, so sorry I can't shout you out right now. But I love it if it's a heckler right there and they go at them because it's so spontaneous, it's off. You don't know when they can recover from that. That is so hilarious to me. That's their job. This is their job, what to do.
Yeah, you know what? And that's think about that, man. Right? That's not an easy job to go and run.
Right, right,
I mean, at least you sing and you got music, you can drown people out. You're a
right.
comedian, it's just talking, right?
Yes.
You
Ain't
know
no
what I mean?
music in the background, nothing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a new one out there. Have you listened to Mojo? I believe is his name.
I
Light
don't
skinned
know.
brother. And his thing is when people, for some reason, I swear I gotta figure this out, right?
Huh?
Yeah, I know comedians read people. That's one thing, right? They read people, look in the crowd, blah blah blah. It
Right.
just seems to some of these comedy shows, do they have people fill out questionnaires? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, do they have some
True.
of these people fill out questionnaires? But
Right.
anyway, I think Mojo's favorite thing is, all right, call them then, right? There's always somebody in there, and I'm sure he does 1,000 shows or 100 shows, and you might have two or three, but they always
Is
clip the
is he
one
an
with.
Indian guy?
No, no, no. I know you. No, Mojo's actually an Afro American, I believe.
Okay.
I'm about
Because
to
it's
say.
another comedian. He's an Indian guy. He reads everybody in the audience. He is hilarious. I can't think
Yeah,
of his name.
yeah,
Sorry, I
yeah.
can't shout you
He
out.
was just in a controversy.
Really?
Yeah, like like he went underground for a while because you got to check it out. Something about his wife. Yeah,
Really?
she like dogged him, made him, dogged him like on a podcast or something.
What?
And y'all dogged him, man, dogged him, right? And I
What?
think, and people within his comedic group were
Uh,
talking about it. I
right,
guess that's a good thing. Can a joke go too far, right?
right,
And they
right.
were kind of making fun of it, and he got, pissed off. But she brought it out.
Wow.
You got to check it out. Check it out.
Mhm, mhm.
You'll be surprised. But that'll be a good. I guess that's a good test subject, right?
Right,
Can
right,
a joke go too far? For him, it did.
right. Yes.
Yeah, he's a
Wow.
comedian. Yeah,
Wow. Yeah. So he took it personal.
yeah, yeah.
Well, it was personal. It was personal.
It was personal, right?
Yeah.
And it was recent. You know what I mean? And that's the fun. You see, you know what I mean? And that's like one of the things, that I admired about the Kevin Hart and all these roasts is that if you're going to give a joke, especially comedians, if you're going to give a joke,
Mhm.
you should be able to take a joke,
True. True.
right?
Yeah.
So,
And that's
you
one
know,
thing, just to talk about Kevin Hart thing again, that all of them took their jokes. They all laughed. They all, even when they said it was a good joke, good one, they stood up, shook your hand, like that was a good joke. They
you know what makes things less harmful when people are joking about you?
Mhm.
Money,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? You rich, think about it. If you rich, right, and somebody call you, yo, and I'm not talking about jumping, look over this way. You big head, ugly, right? You'd be like, whatever, I got money,
Well, yeah, true.
right? But if you
True.
poor, you're like, who you talking about, right? Because you hurt.
Mhm.
Everything
When
hurt.
you bringing the joke down to the normal people level, that's a whole different thing. When you're talking about just the average Joe Blow on the street, like, they call it bid sessions that, young adults have, and they all, sit in a circle and bid on each other. That's a
Mm.
different, that's a different thing
Oh,
than,
that's
can
the
that,
term.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's like, crime could actually happen in that circle. You know what I
Right, 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 right.
mean?
I slept with your sister. No, I did.
Yeah, things could go down in that kind of session.
Right, 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 right. There's
Yeah,
fight words then, yo.
yes, yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed this conversation. This was really fun. You gonna close us out, bro?
Yeah, listen, people. Tell us what y'all think. Can a joke go too far? I think there's such a thing as an appropriate. I don't think that they can, but it's the timing and if it's funny or not. I think that's the end result. Tell us what you think.
Right,
Other than that, we'll see you next week, and we'll have another interesting topic. If you guys do have any suggestions, put them in the post and just let
right.
us know, and
Yeah.
we'll definitely eventually get around to it. Other than that, thank you and have a blessed one.
Bye, guys.